Hi guys, I'm DJ Blighty, welcome to my channel, and today's video, what a DJ actually does.
Who the hell are you?
DJ Blighty.
Now this might be a question that you've asked people in the past and never really gotten an answer to. You might have gone and asked for a request in a nightclub, and that's about as far as your experience and knowledge of DJs goes. But what does a DJ do? There's several types of DJ. There are mobile DJs, which you'll see at weddings, private parties like birthdays, anniversaries, all those type of things. There's radio DJs who are more presenters, so their skills are not just musical, but also in presenting and having conversations with people about music. And then there's the one that we're going to be talking about today, which is club and festival DJs. Now, in the last 10-15 years, the superstar DJ has risen to prominence, and you will be aware of them. You'll no doubt have favourite songs by these DJ producers. And that's really what we're here to talk about, is the fact that the ones that you're more likely to be aware of, who you see touring all over the world at festivals and doing their own concerts, and you hear their songs on the radio, these are music producers first and foremost. I'm not saying they started as music producers, because some, like myself, started as DJs and then they worked their way into that arena. But most of their time and effort goes into their brand, music production, creating the hits that you hear, as well as the marketing and all the other stuff that goes with it. The DJ element of what they do is essentially the live performance. So where a singer would sing at an event, a DJ performs the song by simply playing it. There's a little bit more to it than that, which I'm going to show you today, which is the technical side of DJing. But really, I want to answer your question by showing you what a DJ does. Now, the type of DJs I just mentioned previously, especially the mobile DJ, they're not likely to be as technically able as a club or festival DJ. I mean, no offense to anyone that does that as a line of work, because they may be technically able. But the reason I say that is because most club and festival DJs, they take pride in being able to mix and transition between tracks. So shortly I'm going to go over to the decks and I'm going to show you a quick demonstration of not only how simple a mixed transition between two tracks can be, but also how complex it can be. So I'll run through it a couple of times just to show you how much fun DJs can have with it and the actual performance element of a DJ from a DJ's perspective. So I'm going to give you a bird's eye view of the decks. Now, before I go over, I'm going to be using my own tracks today, just so YouTube don't flag me for any copyright reasons for using someone else's music. I'll put the links to all the tracks I use in the description below, so if you want to check them out, please feel free to do so. If you have any questions on anything I mentioned today, or any videos you'd like me to record in the future, please feel free to hit me up in the comments below and I will get back to you. Right, so what we're going to look at is a couple of some basic and some more advanced DJ techniques of transitioning between one track and the other, because essentially that's what a DJ does. So they'll be playing a track on the one side and their goal is to mix into the track on the other side. Now, as I mentioned in the intro, for example, mobile/party DJs, they're less likely to mix because they get through so many records. I'm not saying they all don't, because some do and they're really skilled and talented, but some of them just try and keep it really simple because they're chopping through so many different genres and eras that they will literally either just fade the one track out and play the other track, or they will they'll just literally drop it on time on the one. Let me just give you a quick example of that, because you might have heard this sort of transition before in these type of events. That we would share this ocean view. Hold me close, say that you always knew all this was meant for me and you. So yeah, that's literally what they would do, is literally wait for this one to finish and on time, just as it finishes, press play on this one, and it just seamlessly continues. But we're talking about club and festival DJs. Things get a bit more advanced and technical because we try and mix from one track into the other. So I'm going to show you a very basic transition technique now by showing you this track. I'm only using my own tracks because I don't want to get flagged up for copyright, so I know that I can get away with using these ones. I'll put the links to both of these tracks in the description if you want to check them out at all. If you do like them, I'd appreciate any sort of playlist ads and saves and all that stuff. I'm not here to plug my own music, but yeah, that would be appreciated. Right, let's get into this first transition. So yeah, that was a really simple one because we're using the original radio edit of this track, not an extended mix. So all I've done is literally loop this part in time with the beats on this one. So yeah, and then when this track's coming to an end, I've turned the loop off at the correct point, and then this track has started playing. Another mix would be, if we just use this one as an example, because it's an extended club mix, this would be a little bit longer, especially in house music. So let me go to the final chorus on this track and show you how we'd actually transition between these two. So yeah, what I've done there is, because I know there's vocal samples coming in, I've timed it so this track starts not on the drop, or not the drop, sorry, the first breakdown, but it actually starts, so there's a little bit of a lead into the track. We could make these transitions a bit longer, but that's something that keeps things really simple. What we could do as well is look at a little bit more of an advanced technique, which would be a longer version of this mix, which would sound something like this.
Me and you in a room with an ocean view. Look at us, did they think we'd give enough? This can't be love, they say.
Yeah, so that would be another way of doing it. A little bit of a longer transition, a few more of like the effects and stuff being used. So what we can look at now, if I just grab the extended mix of this track, this isn't actually out yet, so it's not even in my folder. Here we go. No, not that one. Here we go. Okay, so looking at this now, what we're going to do is move from this track to this track and try and get a bit more fancy with it, a bit more technical. So try and follow along with what I'm doing. This isn't a lesson, so I'm not explaining things in too much detail, but yeah, it just shows you really what a DJ actually does in these environments. Okay, let's go from this one into the next one.
Say that you always knew, all this was meant for me and you. All this was meant for me and you. Hold me close, say that you always knew that we would share this ocean view. Hold me close, say that you always knew all this was meant for me and you. 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 All this was meant for me and you. This was meant for me and you. This was meant for me and you. All 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 this was meant for me and you.
Complicated. I shouldn't ever have to feel this way, but every time I try to up and walk away, you come around and start to love me better.
Yeah, so that wasn't like anything too crazy, but it was just me on the fly, just playing around with the effects, showing you the type of things that DJs actually do. So using little cuts, looping, using the echo, delay, just playing around with it and having fun with it. So it's what DJs like to do when they're kind of trying to create their own style of the track, just by using the decks as more of an instrument than just literally a basic transition like I showed you earlier on. So there's so many different options. Some DJs are a lot more technical with it than me, but yeah, it just gives you a good insight as to what a DJ actually does. I hope you've enjoyed today's video and it's given you the info you've been looking for. If you haven't already done so and you want to check out my future videos, please hit the subscribe button and don't forget to turn the notification bell on. Any questions, please hit me in the comments below, and yeah, thanks for watching. Peace.